What did you guys learn from that game at Stanford about your team?
We learned a lot, and we're definitely grateful for the opportunity. Obviously, it's not the outcome that we wanted, but there's definitely still things. It's early in the season. There's still things that we need to work on, and we knew that going into it. But Lisa mentioned when we were watching film on the game that Stanford's a very talented team. They're very smart, and they scout very well, and that was apparent in the game. And they're very good at exploiting our weaknesses. And obviously, it's not ideal for playing, but we now have that to look at and to get better on, and so we're thankful for that. And like I said, it's not what we wanted, but there's not much else you can do now because the game's in the past, so just learning from that.
Do you feel like you guys got a little bit more national recognition from that game, the fact that you were able to get over that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all of us, we had full faith in ourselves and in our ability. Stanford is a great team, but we think that we have the tools to play at the highest level, and yeah, we did do that. But I think that going forward, we just need to keep doing what we're doing and, yeah, play hard.
On that, I mean, a loss is a loss and no one likes to lose, but was there some bit of confidence that was built because it was number 3, it was on the road in a hostile environment?
Yeah, and beating Stanford here last year is amazing in itself and was obviously really fun, but we knew that we were going to have our work cut out for us at their place. So we just had to come ready, and it definitely does build some confidence. However, we still didn't win, but we have some big games coming up in the Thanksgiving tournament and just throughout conference and non-conference that we can use that going into and what we learned from that game.
When it comes to Eastern Washington, they always give you guys a good game. Of course, it's a little bit of a rivalry, but what is it about this game that kind of sparks that rivalry and kind of makes you guys just go at each other?
Yeah, I think that because we're both in Eastern Washington, that's a big reason. But yeah, they're a tough little team, and they just come out ready to compete every single time we play them. So we know that we can't downplay that, and we have to come out ready to go, whether we're playing the number 3 team or we're playing Eastern, who has definitely played us well in the past. So yeah, we're ready and we're excited, especially coming off a loss, and I think everyone's just excited to get back out there again.
What do you think of Kaylee's play thus far this season and just kind of stepping up as a freshman?
Yeah, she's done absolutely amazing, as have all of our other freshmen and players Anna, who had to redshirt last year. Super proud of them, and just the confidence that they're playing with is really admirable, because freshman year is hard. You know, you're coming from probably being the best on your team in high school to a new program, learning a lot of new plays, and so I'm just really proud of them, and they're playing absolutely amazing. So.
When you think about playing Eastern coming up, they've lost 3 in a row, but you feel like that makes them a little more dangerous because they're kind of their backs are against the wall at this point?
Yeah, I think it is harder to play teams who are coming off a loss because they do have that extra motivation and drive, but we're also coming off a loss, and even if we won that game, I think that we would still treat this game as any other game, ready to come out and play. But it definitely does add a little extra chippiness, I would say, to the game, and so we have that in mind, and we're ready to play them no matter what.
Eastern went to Stanford and lost by 63 points. Do you try to ignore those kind of scores and get away from comparing those scores with your own?
Yeah, every game's unique, and depending on different teams match up differently than we might match up with somebody else. So yeah, it's good to keep that in mind, but also kind of flesh it out, like you said, because each game is very unique in itself, and there is a little bit of an extra rivalry, I'd say, between Eastern and us. So yeah, we just need to come out and play our best game regardless of the past games that they've had.
When it comes to Jessie, she's had to take obviously a little bit of a bigger role this year. She's your guys' point guard. Yeah. How has your guys' chemistry been with the posts and with Jessie, and how do you feel like she's handling this role?
I think she's doing amazing. She definitely has to take a bigger role this year, losing Laura Stockton, who is a phenomenal player as well. But Jessie's definitely filling into more of a leadership role, and I think that she's done that with grace and handled it really nicely. In terms of the chemistry on the court, Jessie, she does have just natural basketball IQ, which is obviously important in a point guard. And she just reads the defense well, kind of has an idea of what our post players are going to be doing, especially with Jen and I, since we've had a few years with her. But I think that she's doing phenomenal out there as well.
Coach, what did you learn about your team in that Stanford loss?
I would say we're tough. I wasn't sure exactly how we would react in a situation like this I didn't know exactly how we would battle adversity. We hadn't been on the road yet. And so I think we're a tough team. I think we made big shots. We didn't execute very well under that pressure. I don't know if it was the physical pressure of the game or like just the theoretical pressure of the situation. But we didn't execute great, but we still came up with big baskets at important times or big plays at important times. And it got me more excited, I think, about our team than I already am, which I've talked a lot about how I think they have a lot of potential. But that game in particular and how we responded to the variety of different situations, I think made me think that we can do some really good things this year.
You guys obviously got a little bit of national recognition off that game. How does that feel for you to have more people on your eyes on this team now?
I don't really ever pay that much attention to it. I'm a Gonzaga person, and it's fine for me. It's annoying from time to time that people don't respect what we do as much as I think that we could sometimes be respected, although we're pretty well known in the women's basketball world now. But it's good for these guys. This team's never been ranked, and so great for them. I'm happy for them. It doesn't mean that we can take a break on Friday, or it doesn't mean that we don't have to practice hard or those kind of things. So it's great, but doesn't hold a whole lot of importance in my mind.
When it comes to Eastern Washington, they always give you guys a great game. We got a little bit of a rivalry.
Always a fight, yes.
Right, a little rivalry in there. What can you say about that and the fact that when you guys go head-to-head, it's a great one?
Yeah, we've had a lot of crazy endings to games. I remember we had to get offensive rebound from some free throws in order to win a game a few years ago, and we've gone in overtime with them at their place, and just crazy heroics have happened from time to time. Winnie does a great job. We do a really good job with our players too. It's fun to play the crosstown rivalry. It's the closest thing to like a stinky sneaker that we have in Spokane as far as college basketball goes. And they're young also this year. They don't have a lot of upperclassmen on the roster at all. And so, I know we're not as young as them, but we are still figuring things out with our upperclassmen. So I think there's going to be a lot of excitement probably. They're playing fast, they're shooting a lot of threes. And if we just let them get comfortable, then you're always in for a dogfight till the end.
You always say that you never overlook an opponent, right? But they have lost 3 in a row, but you feel like that might make them a little more dangerous just because their backs are a little bit against the wall?
I always think that teams that are coming off a loss are tough because they're playing for that first win or to right the wrong. I think hopefully we'll be playing that way on Friday to fix some things that we needed to fix because we're coming off one that left a bad taste in our mouth. Regardless of who our opponent was or how close it was, we lost our game too. So I'm hopeful that that'll be a motivation for us. But certainly, there's no one who comes out and does this and doesn't want to do everything they can to win a game. So.
Speaking of that last game, LeeAnne and Jen ended up fouling out there at the end. How much of a difference did that make in overtime?
I don't think Jen did. Townie and LeeAnne, right?
Yeah,
yes. They're 2 of our best players. When you lose 2 starters to a disqualification, it's hard. When we have fine depth, and I think as the season goes on, our depth is going to be even more impressive. But we didn't have a lot of people on the bench to substitute that had played in those kind of situations and were comfortable with what was going to happen in the game. So it hurt us for sure. I would have loved to have had both of them available.
I saw a women's basketball account, I'm forgetting the name of it, just tweeted about how you have kept this program at a sustained level since Kelly left and how you've kind of pushed it and kept it going. Just seeing that and knowing the fact that you have been able to do that and keep it at a high level for that since he's left. How does that feel for you too?
I think it's great. I think it's a testament to the players we've recruited. I think the coaching staff being here for 6 years and the support that Spokane and Gonzaga have given to me and those guys. We happen to recruit fighters and people who, we got the right kids. And from time to time you're upset that you don't get this one or you really want that one. But really, we've gotten the right players who can help us to do it our way, which is the Gonzaga way, which was the same Gonzaga way as it was when Kelly was here. You do it together as a team. It's the same thing that Mark does. From time to time we have a superstar, but really at Gonzaga you do it by, committing to the group. And, we're happy to continue that tradition and hope to put our mark on it and keep it going.
Recruiting, Haley having a great game down at Stanford. What do you think it says about her as a freshman to be able to step up in that spotlight?
Yeah, we weren't sure. She hasn't played afraid yet. There's a lot of freshmen that are unsure in those scenarios. There's a lot of them that are fearless. I think she's the fearless type, and she watched us play Stanford on her official visit last year here in our building, and they've been talking about that, her and her sister, for a long time. And I thought she I don't know if she played great, but she certainly did make some big contributions, and it's great for her to experience that, because we're going to have more of those games this year. Next year Jessie's going to graduate, and we're going to have her and her sister, along with a new freshman point guard, trying to figure out all those situations not on their own with their teammates, but kind of at the helm. So it's a great experience for her, and I was happy with the way she was ready to play and compete.
Eliza's on the court. Is she back?
She's 2 weeks out tomorrow, so she'll see the doctor tomorrow. She's been sitting, so we don't know, but I think anytime soon. She's been really, I think I told you, Jim, she rolled it in the summer, and then rolled it again, and then came back, and then it wasn't healing like they thought, so they just kind of put her on a hiatus for a few weeks. But hopefully tomorrow we'll get good news, and the rest will have helped enough to where she'll be back at it.
Last question about Eastern. They went to Stanford, as you know, and lost by a lot. But you try to dispel those kind of comparisons a little bit.
Well, I think it's a totally different situation. I don't know if they've ever played down at Stanford. If not, it's been a while. We play them every year. We came off last year where we beat them, so I think we're in a very different situation. I don't know if they were shell-shocked or not. I've seen the film, but you can't really tell everything from it. So I would just say it's not even really a comparison. When you do something for a first time, it is a little bit startling and daunting, and they're really young. So to take the 3 upperclassmen and her freshmen and sophomores down there, it's a great experience for them, I'm sure. But not really comparing the same type of thing, because we've been down there every other year for the last 10 years. So it's different.